Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Microsoft 365 Pulse recording, where we cover what's going on in the Microsoft roadmap. For those of you who may not have joined us in the past, generally what we do is we cover the three different categories that are always out there. The first one being in development meaning that Microsoft is actually actively working on this particular feature. Then once they get it pretty much built and they start rolling it out, we see the status change to, imagine that, rolling out. And that means that it's starting to appear in the tenants to which it's targeted, either commercial, worldwide, GCC, GCC high, DoD. And then finally, our last category that's always there is launched. That means that if you have the tenant to which that feature was actually targeted at, you should have it by now. There is sometimes a fourth category, which we do not have this week, and that is canceled, which means that they either had a duplicate that they're doing cleanup on, or they tried to do a feature, didn't quite work out the way they expected it to, and it's like, yeah, we're not going to do that one. So we're going to go ahead and get started with in development. And with that, Tamara, what kind of things did you see in development this week that makes you happy?
There were a couple things that I saw. So Microsoft Edge use primary work profile as default profile to open external links. So following further review, this feature has returned to the development phase. We apologize for any inconvenience, says Microsoft. So Microsoft Edge currently opens external links using the last used profile by default. Well, for enterprise users, the primary work profile is normally the best profile for opening external links. So with this feature for Windows, Edge will check if the primary work profile exists and make it the default profile for opening external links if available. For Mac and Linux, if only one work profile signed in and the Microsoft Entra ID account is found, is treated as the primary work profile. Then we also have an Edge, improved navigation to extension surfaces. So to improve visibility and discoverability, Microsoft Edge is introducing two navigation improvements for extensions. First, if a user has at least one enabled extension, the puzzle icon will be persistent on the toolbar. Second, from the Settings and More menu, the extensions options will allow users to reach Edge extensions and the Edge add-on store directly. And then Word is allowing third-party citation add-ins reference tab. So this integrates popular third-party citation providers under the Word Reference tab, helping users effectively complete their reference list. Then we also have quick steps in the pop-out ribbon for Outlook. Quick steps are now integrated into the ribbon of email, the pop-out ribbon, in the new Outlook for Windows and web. Users can access and execute their configured quick steps directly by reading emails in separate windows. And then I just had a couple more. There's a ton in development.
There's a lot in development.
So in Microsoft Teams' dedicated download option for tracking all registrations in webinars, I am so excited about this.
It's the world you live in.
Oh, event organizers will be able to download a distinct registration report separate from the attendee list from the report section of the webinar in order to have visibility and information about all registrants for particular webinar instances. And then Microsoft Teams search for meetings. You can now search by meeting name or participant and take direct actions like joining, RSVPing, viewing recaps, and access to a dedicated meeting tab for a streamlined experience. These updates make it easier to find and act on the meeting right from the search bar.
I think that is awesome. That's going to be a really cool feature.
I'm really happy about that. And that's about all I'm going to do. There are tons. Some of them are repeats from last week. So, Tom, what do you like in development?
Well, being that I have officially become or unofficially, de facto Copilot
Hmm.
person, I'm going to cover a few Copilot ones in here. One is for generating a formula with Copilot from the grid upon equals. So basically, type anywhere on your grid, and this is for Excel, type anywhere on your grid or in the formula bar, put an equals in there, and let Copilot generate formulas from natural language, making complex calculations easier and faster. For somebody who isn't an Excel person and struggles to put together an expression, even something simple, I love this one because, yeah, just if I can say, hey, I need you to add up everything in this column. A lot of people go, oh, well, that's just the blah, blah, blah expression. I'm like, and I got nothing. So that's going to be really nice to be able to get that kind of a help. Document snapshot in Word personalizes output. So on this one, the document snapshot, and this is using Copilot in Word, helps the user focus faster by surfacing the most important information for them based on their personal context. So it's going to be using the graph in order to say, so what seems to be important for this person? And based on that, here's what kind of information in this document may be most important to you. Some people may be thinking, I don't want it to make that decision. Others are like, yeah, this is a 400-page document. I want to know what it means to me. So I think that kind of AI generated approach to things is going to be really helpful. Then we have Copilot, and this one I'm really looking forward to. Outlook Copilot Proactive Drafts. So in this particular one, Copilot will detect emails that are most likely to need a response and pre-generate 3 options for you to review and select from. Save time and energy responding to high priority emails with proactive drafts. So yeah, just basically like you probably need to respond to this. Here's 3 different ways you could do that. Pick one and or refine one. So I think that's going to help people get better results and get answers out to others much faster than they can currently do it when they're just staring at a blank screen thinking, what do I say? Then we have press and hold the Windows key C or the Copilot key, if you happen to have a device that's got a Copilot key, to activate voice on the Microsoft 365 Copilot app. So basically, by using that key or keystroke combination, it's going to go ahead and activate voice, and then you're just going to be able to talk to Copilot like a personal assistant, interrupting and redirecting at any time to prepare for the workday, create documents, understand topics, and search for information. I think that's really cool. And even though I tend to want to type, Tamara loves using the mic, and I'm becoming much more going, well, can I just say something here? And we go from
Hmm.
there. So it's getting to me now. So I think I'm going to really like having this one. Um, and I love the last sentence. Enterprise grade security and compliance are built in as conversations stay private while productivity soars. Ooh, that's what I want, soaring productivity. Then we have filtering conversation history. So when you're using the chat, you'll go in, you've got all these conversations you've had over time, but you kind of have to wade through to get what you want. Well, now they're going to have a chat history filtering capability so you can start to narrow things down, make it much easier to find the particular chat that you were looking for, and then maybe continue that chat on to get additional information now that you know more things or want to take a different approach to it. Auto update document sections from new sources. This is for Word and Copilot. Easily refresh parts of your document using content from other files without copying and pasting. Copilot keeps your formatting intact while pulling in the latest updates from new sources. So that's going to be really nice to quickly get new information into a document that you're working on. This one is not Copilot. Well, yeah, it's not Copilot related. It kind of scares me though. Emoji reaction workflows in Teams. Ugh. Seamlessly set up workflows started by emoji reactions in Teams. When a user reacts to a message with an emoji, the workflow will be kicked off to handle support tickets or start a help desk workflow. Okay. Yeah.
He's so excited about this, people.
Yeah, I just like, oh, I just gave you a crying icon. Oh, great. I'll help you make a support ticket. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to work for some people. I'm probably too old. I'm not the target audience for that one. But yeah, whatever works. Then we have in Microsoft Edge, add summarize and explain Copilot actions in PDF Reader. So this is going to make it really nice if you're looking at a PDF within Edge and you're using Copilot, you're going to be able to have two new actions, summarize and explain. They're just real quick clicks that will give you that information without you having to dig through and try to find out what it is it may be trying to tell you or ask for an explanation of things. And with that, I only have one more. One more, which kind of is also mentioned a little bit later as a launch. So I think this is like a follow-up to this, but it's enhanced personalization via communication memory in Copilot. So Copilot licensed enterprise users will benefit from enhanced personalization in Microsoft 365 Copilot through a new communication memory that further improves personalization by increasing the relevance and quality of responses based on previous communications. Communications memory is private to the user and based purely on communications the user has access to. So I think that's really cool that it's now, some people are going, I don't want it to do this, but I think it's cool that it can say, hey, we've had these kind of discussions in the past. Here's the kind of information that you wanted. I'm going to remember that. And so as we move forward, I'm going to try to give you things that are based on what you've asked for in the past, rather than you having to remember to come up with this big laundry list of things that you want it to do or things that you want it to think of when it's trying to respond to you. It's kind of like the whole retrieval augmented generation where it's like, I've got a big this is me document that I put in the front of each particular chat because I wanted to respond in this fashion. Well, now it's going to be able to remember that kind of stuff as part of its memory. So I think that's going to be really cool. I'm looking forward to it. So
Yeah,
with
I'm
that,
excited about that quite a bit.
yeah. So let's go ahead and move on to rolling out. Tamara, what do you see that you like?
I see a couple things.
Mhm.
So I see People Hub improvements in new Outlook for Windows in Outlook. In new Outlook for Windows, the People Hub offers a streamlined contacts interface with a single view of each person, automatically linking duplicates and enriching them with organizational profiles. Then in Outlook, optimize the hover over actions in the message list on Outlook on the web and new Outlook for Windows. So the hover actions in the message list will be modified to be more space efficient and to minimize unnecessary mouse travel. This change primarily affects users with multi column or wider message lists. And then this is going to make so many people so happy. And it just makes me so sad. So, Outlook auto export mailbox to PST file in new Outlook for Windows. PST files are back, people. So, with this update of support for PST files in the new Outlook for Windows, users will be able to schedule an export of an entire mailbox or a specific mailbox folder to a PST file. Future releases of new Outlook will expand support for PST file capabilities.
I'm just curious, why do you think that one's bad?
I don't think you need to hang on to your email forever unless it has a legal hold on it.
Okay, makes sense. I like that.
Yeah. And then in SharePoint, OneDrive and SharePoint use table of contents in a PDF. So OneDrive for the web and SharePoint Online can display a table of contents if it's already in your PDF. You can select the line item in the table of contents to jump directly to the location for that item in a page.
That'll make it really nice to navigate around a large PDF.
Exactly. And then unverified senders in Outlook, just a lot of love for Outlook. So, unverified senders is going to warn users about spoofing and impersonation attempts. So, when you receive a message from a sender we weren't able to verify as safe, you'll see a tag in the message list and a ribbon on the reading pane warning you to be cautious when interacting with it. And that is all I have for rolling out.
Okay, I just have a couple.
Okay.
For Microsoft Copilot, reference sources are cited in drafted content. So in drafting content that's based on reference sources, Copilot includes citations in the text it generates, indicating references to information in the content. I think that is so critical, knowing that all your AIs out there can hallucinate. The more that you can reference back to something so it can prove this is what I'm telling you and this is where I got that information from is always a win. So this is in Word and it's rolling out this month. So that's a really good one that I think is going to be very beneficial and make sure you get good information. And then the other one that I wanted to share was summarize files shared in Teams chat with Copilot. So summarize action on files shared in Teams chat will allow users to summarize files with one click using Copilot within one-on-one or group chats. It will work on common file types like Word and PDF to start with, and other formats will be added over the course or over due course. This requires a Copilot license because it's a Copilot feature. But this is nice in the fact that if you're sharing files with somebody, they can easily go out and get an overview of what it is without having to stop everything and read it, or they're trying to read it as you're trying to talk and everybody's multitasking and nothing gets done correctly. So that'll be
Mm-hmm.
a good one, again, coming out this month, and it's coming out to worldwide and GCC. So GCC will be able to do that too. And I
Yay.
think that's all I had with rolling out. Did you have anything else you wanted to touch on?
No, and I don't have anything in launched I'm excited about.
Well, then I will go ahead and cover a couple items and then we will wrap this up. First one is Copilot Memory. This was the piece I was referring to earlier that I think the memory piece that I talked about earlier is a follow-up to this one. And Copilot Memory leverages insights inferred from conversations between the user and Copilot, along with data from the Microsoft Graph, and custom instructions to provide personalized help for tasks. Users have full control and can view, manage, disable, or clear memory at any time. So this one is launched. This is what lays the groundwork for you to be able to do what we talked about earlier in development. So I think that's great. And then the last one, a Microsoft Copilot, access audio overviews from the top of your Word document. So this is a Word feature in Copilot. Ask Copilot generate an audio overview of your document from the Summary tab in the document snapshot. I've actually done this a couple of times, and it's kind of cool. If you're like, I don't want to read, I just want to close my eyes for a minute and have somebody talk to me, it works out really well. And the voice is not as mechanical as you'd think it might be. So the thing that's really interesting, though, is when you do this, it starts off, in my case, it was a woman's voice. And I looked at options and it says, do it in podcast style. Okay, I'm getting a podcast discussion of my document. I kept doing that, but I still got the same single person reciting the same facts. And it didn't sound like a podcast. So I still need to figure out a little bit as to what's going on there. But again, being able to have it read to you, especially if you might be visually impaired at some level, that can be a lot of help too in order to be able to get the information you need and act on it. So with that, that pretty much wraps up our spreadsheet for today. I bet you're done with, or glad to be done with this one, so you can quit talking.
Yes.
Tamara and I were in New York last week for a 4-day long weekend, and we need a vacation for our vacation now. So with that, everyone, I hope you have a great week, and we will do this again next week. We'll still be around.
Yep.
So with that, everyone, have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye now.